Hey there. Today is November 19th. That makes it post-op day 20. Um, I haven't blogged, I think, was it last sometime, the 13th, whatever day that was. I don't have a calendar in front of me. Oh, so Thursday. Um, I have had an interesting week, to say the least. Friday night, Mom and I went to the Little Big Town concert, and it was amazing. We ended up getting super cheap tickets. I was just kind of tired of being in the house, and so we went and saw them and Brett Eldridge, and I had a good time. It was downtown at the Tennessee Theater. It was cold, very cold, but it was good. I had a glass of wine with dinner, and then I had a Yingling, which is a beer, at the concert, and don't think I'm quite ready for that. Felt okay while drinking it, like that wasn't a problem. But I could tell that night my stool consistency went to about a pure liquid. In the middle of the night. So decided it's not worth it right now. They both tasted really good. So when that time comes, I'm sure I'll be ready to crack open another one. But Saturday was all gung-ho, geared up to watch some K-State football. Had gotten up and watched some games on TV, and then was watching the Tennessee game when I decided to recheck my phone and discovered that the game's not until Thursday. So, yeah, that was genius on my part. So Mom and I will be watching the Cats tomorrow, and hopefully they will beat West Virginia. So, Sunday started out pretty normal. I mean, really the only thing was I was still kind of having that gas pain and everything. Was supposed to meet some of my girlfriends for lunch. One of them got sick and she didn't want to give me anything. And then the other one she doesn't have anything, but she is in grad school and school is just insane for her right now. So she took the morning off and slept in and had to work that night. So Mom and I went out to brunch and then went to church, and everything was pretty good. I've definitely been limiting like my coffee intake to just about 1 cup a day, which is really what you're supposed to do anyways. Being a night shift nurse, I usually had about 2 to 3 cups a day. Or a Starbucks and then a couple cups later or whatever. So I'm trying to do better about that, especially with just my bowels getting used to everything again. So it was Mom and I had come home. We'd watched the Broncos play. I had just been hanging out really after church, and then all of a sudden, I just got this wicked, crazy pain in my right lower quadrant of my abdomen, and it felt like someone was like piercing me with something or stabbing me, or just, I mean, it was just crazy, crazy pain. And I was like, oh my God, I have a cyst again. Like, oh my God, this is terrible. And I was like, well, maybe I need to go to the bathroom. So try to go to the bathroom, and I'm like bent over on the bathroom, and like I just start crying, and I tried to go back and lay on the couch, and that didn't work, and I just had no idea. I was like, okay, well, last time I had a cyst, go take your pain meds. So I had Mom grab me a Norco, and it really didn't seem, I mean, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and go to the bathroom again. Just try and go to the bathroom again. And about that point, I decided, like, it's so bad. Like, one of the things I like to do whenever I'm in pain is, like, just go get in a hot shower. And so I was like, I stripped off all my clothes right then and there and just hopped in the shower. And about, I don't know, 10 minutes into it, like, I yelled for Mom, and I was like, something is severely wrong. I was like, just doubled over in the bathroom crying, and I was like, I need another pain pill, because I'd only taken one. So I took another one, and I just sat there forever. And she's like, do I need to take you to the ER? And I was like, no. I was like, let me just figure this out. So I finally decided to get out of the shower, and I kind of realized, like, I hadn't really been peeing like I normally do. And so I didn't know if that had something to do with it, and I decided just to go to bed, and, like, the pain had let up some. Like, it probably took an hour and a half for it to all calm down. I popped, well, I stayed awake, I guess, for a while, but the pain did subside, and I quickly, like, as soon as I could get my bearings together, like, emailed Cleveland, because I knew they would hopefully check all their mail and stuff the next morning. So I kind of told them what was going on, told them, like, I'm not peeing right. Like, when I go to sit down, even at the concert, I noticed when I went to sit down to go to the bathroom, like, I just couldn't go, and it feels like my bladder is full. So everyone's kind of on this page that I have a UTI or something. So I kind of took pain meds throughout the next night and was doing okay with it. And then it just hits, like, randomly. Like, now, the next morning when I woke up, it was like pelvic bone to pelvic bone. Like, if you push down anywhere, it hurt so bad. I was like, this is just too weird. And if it was a cyst, it would have stayed localized on one side. So I'm kind of with them that it's probably some sort of an infection. I haven't been running a fever, although, like, I do just randomly, like, break out in these, like, body sweats, like, neck down. My back and stomach and legs will just be on fire. So I didn't hear anything from Cleveland until, like, 4:30 on Monday. And so they said, you know, we need you to get a CBC, we want you to get a BMP, and we want you to do a UA, because they said it doesn't sound like anything surgical. If it was something like leaking or along those sort of lines, I would be in constant pain, and not this just random whenever. They didn't give me a catheter after this surgery, because really they didn't mess with anything that low. Everything they messed with was at the stoma site. So that only makes sense that, you know, whatever it is, they don't think it's something surgical. Which I agree with them at that point. But, you know, when you're dying in the shower, that night I was like, oh my God, like, I need to go up to Cleveland. And Mom was ready to pack me up in the car, I think, that night. So heard from them. They said, hey, do you just want to go in and see Dr. Pollock and have him do it? And I said, yes, of course. So as soon as I got up, well, I left Dr. Pollock's office a message. Their main office was closed, but there's a number you can call after hours. Excuse me. And so I left a message with them to say, hey, like, I'm having abdominal pain. I need to have lab work done. And then didn't hear anything from them the next day. So finally, like, towards the end of Tuesday, I called Dr. Pollock's office and left a message, another message for his nurse. So when was it? When I hadn't heard anything by, sorry, I'm totally brain spacing out here. When I hadn't heard anything by that morning, by Wednesday morning today, I called and I called yesterday morning. Sorry, I called Tuesday morning, like around 9:30. Then I didn't hear anything by 4:30 yesterday afternoon. They said his nurse was already gone for the day. And normally she's so prompt, so I was like, something's weird. So then they said call at 8:15 in the morning. She starts seeing patients at 8:30. So I called at 8:15. She was running late and not there, so I couldn't talk to her. They said just leave a message. Well, when I hadn't heard anything by 11, I was like, oh my God, like I need to figure this out. Like something's not right. Like I'm not peeing right. Like I'm still having this crazy pain, even though it's intermittent. Like I need to figure it out. And so I had called my gynecologist's office, and I told Dr. Peden's nurse what was going on. So she called me back later this afternoon. Well, lo and behold, finally, at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock, I finally got to talk to Gail, Dr. Pollock's nurse, and I said, hey, this is what's happening. Like, if at all possible, like, I need to come have this lab work done today, and I honestly, like, think that Dr. Pollock needs to see me. So she said, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'll try and get these orders in to Fort Sanders as soon as I can. So I'm like, okay, yay, that's a start. Like, so I rounded up all my supplies, because I don't need them anymore. So all my pouch supplies, I had a huge bag of stuff. I even got rid of one of the belly bands, the special one that I bought, like, for pouches. And I had, like, boxes and boxes of stuff that I hadn't used. And so I know that they use those donated items, and a lot of times they are expensive and people can't afford them. So I rounded up all the supplies, and I was like, I'll go take those to the pouch place and hopefully they can find a good home. And then I knew I needed a few more gauze bandages, because my site is like almost scabbed over. I feel like in another 3 or 4 days it's gonna have a nice little scab and quit leaking on me, which will be awesome. So I went and did that, and I was like, I'm just gonna go out on a whim. Like, if we drive to Fort Sanders, like, let's get this ball going. So I kind of just showed up. I was supposed to wait for Gail to call back and tell me that they were ready, but I just showed up at Fort Sanders. I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to have some lab work drawn. They were like, we don't have anything. So the lab tech called over there, talked to Gail, and she goes, oh, yeah, well, Dr. Pollock never got back to me. So, long story short, three hours later, I think I walked out of there. I had 3 tubes of labs drawn and I peed in a cup, and I had 2 x-rays drawn. Yes, it took forever, and I'm not a patient person. But at least it's done. Dr. Pollock said, I want to see you first thing in the morning. If at all possible, can you drive to Seymour? It's about 30 minutes from here. And I said, done. I'll be there. They're just going to work me in. And he went ahead and ordered me an antibiotic. So I started Levaquin today. and hopefully that's all it is. But I knew going into this surgery, like, I mean, the bladder sits right next to your rectum, or in my case, my pseudorectum. And, all that stuff got jumbled around. So whether or not it's anything serious, I hope not. I hope it's just a crazy infection. The lab guy kind of freaked me out because here I am just laying back, and he gets done taking the picture, and he's like, "So are you having pain somewhere?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Pretty much pelvic to pelvic bone, like my pelvic area." And he's like, "Hmm." He didn't say another word about it. Like, "Oh yeah, I see blah blah blah," or whatever. He just goes, "Hmm." And I'm like, "Oh God." I'm trying not to think of that right now, actually. Whew. So that's been my week. Happy to have antibiotics on board. Mom's been forcing liquids down my throat. My appetite's hit or miss. It's like sometimes, oh my God, I'm so hungry, I can't get enough to eat, which is still not even half of what I used to eat. Or it's like I take 3 bites of something and I'm like, no, I'm done. So who knows what that's about. The only other thing is, so Monday and Tuesday, I couldn't even hardly get off the couch. I literally, like, would get up, go to the bathroom, take my pillow and blanket out to the couch, and I would sleep. And then I would I'd get up and be a little bit more lively in the afternoon, but just not an ounce of energy these past couple days. Today's like, Mom goes, "This is the longest you've been awake in a long time." So, hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully, I know the pain has been better today. Hasn't been hitting me near as much frequently as it was, but when it does, it is just like it's not a burning sensation when I pee. I can't. That's not it at all. Sometimes it doesn't hurt at all when I pee, and then sometimes it is like someone is hammering down on me, and or I'll just be talking to Mom, and I'll just get up to do something, and I'll be like, "Oh my God," like, just it's the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is. So hopefully I'll have some answers tomorrow. Other than that, I think I might go to bed because I gotta get up in about 8 hours. All right. Good night, everyone.